Here we go.
Margaret? Welcome to Mergy Movies. I'm Big Mike.
I'm Justin Fergy Person.
And here's another movie. Apparently I can't talk.
Movie maneuvers.
Movie maneuvers, yeah. Movie-related podcast. So a lot of events recently have been happening in Hollywood. Bad ones, unfortunately. In regards to a man called Harvey Weinstein. He's been apparently pulling a Bill Cosby and has been sexually harassing women since forever, I guess. Tons of stars are coming forward, like what we got Rose McGowan. Who else came
Cara Delevingne.
Right, yes, Cara Delevingne. I can never pronounce her last name.
Cara Delevingne.
Yes.
Did you hear what Courtney Love said? Courtney Love was hilarious.
Courtney Love apparently warned us a long time ago.
Yeah, that was like 2007 she said that.
Yeah, and what did she say again?
She said, I'll probably get libel for this, but if Harvey Weinstein invites you to a private party in his hotel room, say no.
Yeah, you see, and then there was another pretty big name. So I think Ashley Judd was in there as well.
Ashley Judd. There's a few others.
Let's go. Let's look it up just so we don't have any issues here. So, all people who've spoken out against Harvey Weinstein. There you go. It's right in our face. So, this is coming from, just to give credit, this is coming from People Magazine, I guess. Molly Ringwald, apparently.
Okay.
Let's see if we can quickly force into giving to, what was it? Rights, which is partly the reason she wasn't, let's see, signed on as an established star. She says she was forced to turn down giving or getting massages from him. She's, along other things. Apparently Skeet Ulrich, and I did not know about this.
Really?
Skeet Ulrich, for those of you who don't know, he was Sidney's boyfriend, probably his most well-known role. Sidney's boyfriend in Scream, the first one. Yeah, apparently he said he had dinner with someone who is one of the most famous women on the planet. He can't say who it is. And who has not yet come out and told him similar things. Okay, so it's not him. It's someone.
Someone that he knows.
Yeah, so then we got Woody Allen, who said he felt sad for Harvey.
That's not
good.
That's
coming
not
from him.
Coming from Woody Allen, considering who his current wife is.
Yeah, how old is she now?
Well, she'd be in her 30s now.
Yeah, but still, he's 81. So
yeah, he's 81, and she was his adopted daughter.
Yeah, and also I've heard some things about him sexually harassing the women on his sets and stuff too.
Marion Cotillard.
Yes, what was she in?
She was Talia al Ghul.
Right, yeah.
She was in Inception. She was...
oh man, she's attached to a lot of stuff like that.
She's a lot of French movies.
Emma Thompson.
Emma Thompson.
Has spoken out. She said, "What I find sort of extraordinary is that this man is at the top of a very particular iceberg. You know, I don't think you can describe him as a sex addict. He's a predator." So it doesn't sound like she was personally attacked, but again, she's coming out and saying things. Well, let's hear what Ryan Gosling has to say. Ryan Gosling said, "Like most people in Hollywood, I have worked with him and I'm deeply disappointed in myself for being so oblivious to these devastating experiences of sexual harassment and abuse. He is emblematic of a systemic problem. Men should stand with women and work together until there is real accountability and change." We got Julia Roberts. She is not saying that she was affected. She's saying she just hopes it'll stop, kind of thing. Kate Beckinsale, I heard that she says that she was directed up to his hotel room and he answered the door in a bathrobe. "I was incredibly naive and young and it did not cross my mind that this older, unattractive man would expect me to have any sexual interest in him," she wrote. "After declining alcohol and announcing that I had school in the morning, I left, uneasy but unscathed." And apparently, years later, Weinstein spoke to her about their past meeting and asked if he had tried anything. So he's trying to own it up to the alcohol at that point. So Annette Bening, you know what? The list kind of goes on and on. We could keep going for years here. It's sad.
It is, and you kind of have this feeling that you hear about it, like, say, more often in the porn industry, that
yes.
women get thrown into this sort of situation where.
But I gotta say though, from a porn standpoint though,
yeah.
I mean, there is sexual harassment in the porn industry, definitely, but I mean, you know, I'm not saying that. What's the word choice I can use? I guess it doesn't surprise me if they want an audition for something like that.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
But an audition in this, like, you hear what Cara Delevingne said about him.
Yeah,
hers was a lot more graphic.
Yeah, hers was. She wanted him to. He wanted her to, like, kiss a woman or something.
Yeah, to basically have sex with another woman in front of him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See.
So that's the long and short of it. And then the sad truth is Harvey Weinstein is just a slightly more Hollywood version of Donald Trump.
Yes, exactly. I did see a comparison on, like, Facebook of Donald Trump versus Harvey Weinstein, and they're basically similar people.
Yes.
And though I guess the only difference is that Donald Trump's more forward, so you kind of know what you're getting. So this is what saddens me, is why you U.S. people voted for him. But anyway.
Yes, that's a different conversation.
That's a different age. But anyway, so it upsets me, like, hey, it just goes to show, like, okay, unless you can, and pardon my French, I mean, if you're watching the show, or any of our shows, it shouldn't really matter, really. But, I mean, you have to suck a dick or do something sexual to get ahead in Hollywood. It's ridiculous.
It is, and you hope that, you know, there are, I'd like to believe there are good producers and good companies out there that don't do this shit.
Let's hope, man.
I mean, one woman, I'm glad that she's in a position of power, but someone like Kathleen Kennedy, who's the head of Lucasfilm.
Yes, there you go.
You know, you have a major studio, a major branch of an even bigger studio, and I really don't think that she would be doing some stuff like this. Yeah, and we're not necessarily saying that because she's a woman or whatever. She just seems like a generally nice person. She does, but I'd like to think that, you know, probably a great deal of the Disney execs are like that, but I'd hope, you know, but you never know. Yeah, God, because that's sad. And you know, right now, and I mean, hey, and this is, first of all, it's obviously it's a terrible thing that happened. But it's a very good thing it came to light, because this may stop other behavior, because other people are, especially right now, and I hate to say it, and this will happen again. It will not stop, okay? No. It won't. People are saying, you pray for it to stop, or let's give attention to it so it'll stop. No, give them tons of attention to it. Yes. But it's not going to stop. There's always going to be some evil prick who's going to do this. Yeah. The only thing that you're absolutely right, that I heard, like, people talking about this on the radio and whatnot, and it's like, it's never really going to stop. It's always going to be this seedy backroom situation. Yeah. The only thing we can hope is that this exposure will make these guys think twice, because if you look at how hard Harvey Weinstein is falling from this, hard motherfucker. Yeah, how he's fallen from it, it would be hopefully a deterrent for other guys. You know, if that guy who was literally, like, he was part of the Academy voting committee. Oh, he's a major name. You think of all, like, how many of his films get nominated for Oscars, and the people in his films get nominated for Oscars and whatnot. He how big he is in the Hollywood circles to fall and basically have his company taken away from him and all this. Exactly. You'd hope that would be sort of a cautionary tale. There's still going to be some creepy, evil douchebags that are going to try and do this. Some sleazy B producers who, you know, make cheap B movies and get women to do things for them, and it's terrible. But you'd hope that the major studios will be more professional. Exactly, and you know and I mean, I know the world is a terrible place in a lot of senses,
and it does scare me, you know, like especially us, you know, as fathers, you know, that our daughters are gonna grow up with assholes like that around. Like, hey, maybe one of our daughters or both of our daughters will be famous one day.
Yeah.
And then they got to deal with assholes like this.
I've always said this. I actually talked to Michelle about this.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been my motto about raising daughters is I would rather people call her a bitch for saying no than her to be a victim.
Exactly. You know, it's, you know, to say, and this is a message for not just famous people, this is a message for all the daughters and all the girls and women out there. Don't be afraid to say no. Don't be afraid to stand up for yourself and talk to somebody. Because you, like, I know it's not their fault, definitely not. But I just, personally, it must be, like, I don't know if you threaten them, like, with their life, other than their career or whatever. I just don't see a reason why you would wait that long to say something. And it's just, same thing with the Bill Cosby situation.
Yeah.
It's just like decades and decades of sexual abuse. Like, you could have saved so many women by coming forward. And I'm not saying that they're to blame, because they're not. But I mean, just say something, you guys. Say something.
And it's hard, but you know,
no one's gonna judge you for it.
No one's gonna. If you're a victim, the only people who judge you are probably other people who are perpetrators.
Yeah, and honestly, fuck them, because you could tell, you know, a parent of yours or
the police,
especially. Like, if you feel like maybe your parents won't believe you, or if it's personal, go to the police. They'll help you out. You know what I mean? Or call a hotline, and they can help you out. Yeah. Anybody. Social workers. Yes, tons of people. There's tons of people out there that'll help you. It's just a sad situation, and you know, like you were just telling me before we turned the camera on about my favorite and our inspiration for these podcasts is Kevin Smith. What he did. You want to develop on that a bit?
Kevin Smith. A great deal of his filmography is with the Weinstein Company.
Yes.
And he said that, you know, he knows he's not. All he wanted to do was make films. Exactly. All he wanted to do was make movies. Not money. Well, maybe money. But
well, a little bit, but he wanted to be. He always wanted to be a filmmaker and do something. And he's, like, honestly, he's a sweetheart of a guy. He's the most innocent person on the planet. What you see with him is what you get. Yeah. So anyway, yeah.
And he felt like so guilty that so much of his career is tied to this man.
Exactly.
And so all of his, I can't remember what the phrasing is, if it's his kickbacks or whatever it is on his filmography that is with the Weinstein Company. I don't know if he's still with them or not. I don't know if his later movies were with a different company.
No, he went with a different company. He wasn't with the Weinsteins. He, at least as far as I know, I might have double checked that, but I don't think so. Not with his recent horror movies that he's doing. But he did do it with his Jay and Silent Bob. The reason why he is who he is. But
yeah, and he basically said since he can't give all that money away, and he's not going to say no to the money, obviously. All the money he gets from the kickbacks of this filmography from the Weinstein Company, he's going to give to women's charities.
Yes, very cool. Very cool of him. And I not that I didn't respect him before, but that's just going way above and beyond. That is awesome. You know, like nobody does that shit in Hollywood. I mean, I shouldn't say nobody.
Yeah, that's called putting your money where your mouth is.
Literally, like Hollywood Babylon. They have that podcast he does with Ralph Garman. They have a section called Hollywood Helpers, and he should fucking be on there. He should be on his own show, put himself on Hollywood Helpers. So no, like seriously, it's just terrible, man. Like and then what I found interesting is that I'm starting to think, and I kind of hope not, that Ben and Matt, especially how it sounds like Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, they were heavily involved with Harvey Weinstein. And I mean, Ben Affleck has been, like, you know, like he came out and said that this was terrible that this happened, and he says he feels sad for all the women or whatever. And then someone had to point out that he, and I mean rightfully so, that he sexually harassed an MTV host back in 1990, whatever. Yeah. So I'm hoping that you know, he was a young star. He made a mistake. It was not a good mistake. It was a very terrible mistake.
I mean,
once he apologized for it, but not that.
If you do it once, and you know, maybe I was listening to one lady talk, like they were talking to a sexual abuse expert on the radio.
Yeah,
and she was talking about if it's once, if you do it once, some women you don't know where their line is of sexual abuse. True. Because it's a very gray area when you talk about sexual abuse.
Yes.
For some women, you can't touch them. Some women you can't even look at them the wrong way.
Yeah, true enough.
Yeah, so it's a very gray area. Catcalling, making sexual advances. You don't even have to touch them. You know, you can make sexual advances, make comments like Harvey Weinstein did with, say, Cara Delevingne. He didn't actually touch her, but the things he said, the things he did. That, you know, we have to have this conversation for where, you know, what is, you know, where the line is, what is sexual abuse.
Exactly.
But sometimes, you know, when you're young and your hormones are going, sometimes
we're guys.
We're guys.
We're not perfect.
You get a little excited and you get to that point, and when the woman says no, you should stop. You should stop.
Exactly.
You know, but down the line, she could still say that you did cross that line.
Yeah, fair enough.
And if you do it only once, then you can chalk it up as a learning experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. With Harvey Weinstein, it's a pattern of behavior.
Oh, definitely. It's like Emma Thompson said. Yeah. It's past the point of you know, sexual. What did she say? Sexual.
A sexual addiction.
Yes.
He's a predator. It's not an uncontrollable urge. It's something he's consciously doing.
Exactly. So, yeah, it's terrible. I mean, there's nothing much else we can say except get help, talk to someone, whoever you feel comfortable with. Sometimes it's, you know, you don't want to talk to someone close to you, which is totally understandable. Talk to, like you say, a social worker, or call a hotline. There's got to be a hotline for something like this.
I'm sure there is.
So, yeah,
if we ever find out what it is, we'll share it.
Yeah, we'll share it, exactly. So, I guess we'll end on that note. Just, you know, talk to somebody. We're hoping that this kind of, you know, makes people who do this kind of thing turn their heads and realize what they're doing. Because, not just the fact that, I could get caught, more of the fact of...
Don't do it in the first place.
Exactly, and look at what you're doing. Mm-hmm. Like, honestly, think of if, to those people who are not the people, like the famous watch this show at all, but if you're of any person in power, or you find that you're hearing these Harvey Weinstein things, and you find that you're doing this stuff yourself, even if you're a regular person watching the show and you find you're doing these things, take a step back and reevaluate yourself, because you could have a daughter one day if you don't already, and do you want that happening to her? Because we sure fuck don't.
No.
Because if I found out someone was doing that to my daughter, and I'd probably do the same for you, we'd probably go kick some fucking ass. I tell you that. I probably would get arrested, I tell you that.
Yeah.
But, so, and if not me, I know my daughter's grandpa would fucking go to jail for that.
He'd do it gladly.
Oh, he would do it with a smile on his face. And hey, I wouldn't stop him. No. You know, so it's like, whatever. So, yeah. So, until next time, I'm Big Mike.
I'm Justin Fergy Ferguson.
And just be careful out there.
And be nice to people.
Yeah, be nice, please, for the love of God.